Launched in 2006 by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, Access to Recreation has inspired communities to think differently about how to provide recreation opportunities to include people of all ages and abilities. Embracing the principles of universal design, Access to Recreation supported visionary recreation projects in more than 40 communities across Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. These communities rallied to find local resources to match funding in order to open new worlds of recreation for people of all ages and abilities. In Indiana, 6 local community foundations received grant funding for projects that range from a huge playground in Shelbyville, a multi-featured playscape in Monroe County, a fun-for-all park in South Bend, and exciting water and splash pad opportunities in Rockville and Columbia City. In southern Indiana, the Harrison County Community Foundation took a multifaceted approach that included Obannon Woods State Park and multiple county park locations. It was a remarkable community effort that has made inclusive recreation more than a policy. It became a way of life.
The president of the foundation at the time was in a wheelchair, so we were very aware and conscious of the needs of people who have less abilities than the rest of us. Our veteran service officer, who also happened to be a participant on the Community Foundation's advisory committee, put the word out that we were going to work on this, and it was kind of an informal solicitation. What are the needs? And we very quickly found out that there were veterans who still wanted to go fishing, they still wanted to get out into the woods.
The National Center on Accessibility promotes access and inclusion for people with disabilities in parks, recreation, and tourism. Based at Indiana University and established in 1992 through a cooperative agreement with the National Park Service, NCA has emerged as a leading authority on access issues unique to park and recreation programs and facilities.
The Access to Recreation initiative, I think, created new benchmarks in so many ways. It really did enable communities to be able to be creative, to be able to learn about and apply the principles of universal design.
At Buffalo Trace County Park, one of the area's most popular camping venues, 2 cabins were built that allow families to enjoy camping and outdoor recreation together.
One of the things that we really had not thought about at all is the fact that so many families, if they have one person who has limited mobility, then the entire family is oftentimes unable to come to the parks and to do things. So I think that's probably been one of the most touching things to me, is to see families coming out and enjoying our parks that have never been able to come before. We built 2 cabins. Both have identical floor plans. One of the features that we wanted to have in the cabins were stovetop and sinks that were movable in order to allow easier access for people in wheelchairs. The picnic area outside, we have of course, an accessible picnic table, and then we also were able to purchase grills that are accessible.
Elsewhere in Harrison County, in part because of the Access to Recreation grant, the Obannon Woods State Park project found itself in a cultural change that spread through the Indiana Department of Natural Resources and beyond.
Well, this project for us has been just a catalyst to not only to improve accessibility, but just awaken and motivate our whole staff. We've learned so much about how to make something usable for all. And accessibility to us is a term that just says, make it easier for everybody.
There's a legal definition for someone who has a disability, and it is a impairment that affects one or more major life activities. So someone who has difficulty walking, talking, hearing, seeing in their daily life.
We built a mile trail right outside our nature center. It's based on interpretation and education. Wildlife observation is a key component of that. The biggest feature is the trail tread. We kind of came up with our own design and specifications to create a treadway that is accessible for wheelchairs, golf carts, slow walkers, any assortment of people that want to get out in the woods that might have some disabilities or other mobility issues.
Universal design doesn't require that you have everything be concrete and asphalt and flat and level and what some people would consider boring. Universal design's not saying there's one way of doing things. It's actually promoting multiple ways of providing access to experiences. We can't say, oh, you're a person with a disability, you have to take this flat, level path, because as a person with a disability, I might climb Mount Everest.
There's so much to offer here, from history to natural resource to geography to wildlife, and it's accessible. It's easy to get folks out here to enjoy what we have to offer.
Not only is the trail accessible to all individuals, it's proven accessible to a host of public officials who come to view it.
It's not only our Department of Natural Resources in Indiana rangers or property managers or interpreters, it's anybody we can entice from an agency to walk this trail. And at the end of the trail, folks always come to us and say, when we get back to our properties, we're going to do this. It's not only a park project, it's a county project, it's a state project, and I really believe now we're a regional incentive to show people that it's not hard. You know, we use the project word too much, but really what we've done here is change a philosophy. I've learned so much. Anytime I look at a enhancement that we want to do on the property, it deals with accessibility issues. We are now looking for things we can do better throughout the property to make it easier for everybody.
I think there's a number of lessons learned that can be moved forward. One is that we can plan for inclusion of all people in the beginning, and we can move out of what were probably comfort zones that were doing it the way we've always done it, and then thinking of accessibility after the fact.
Our next plan is to continue more of what we're doing. Like I said, it's a philosophy, so it never ends.